So when you ask me this question, because I get this question all the time, how much should I put into the browser farming? What would I gain? One. Second question, do I get banned? Because if I'm going to be using browsers, these are not real human beings. This is not organic traffic. This is we simulating it. Like, we are creating so many browser profiles. We are running automations on these browser profiles. So they get to visit so many websites. So this is not real. Should Google or the system get to understand that these are not real human beings, we could get banned. So what is the guarantee that my YouTube channel of how many years will not get banned? Or my AdSense account that I've been managing as a blogger will not get banned? Or my ADX or my Zoic or my money tag doesn't get banned, or my Adstera? What is the guarantee? This is question 2. Then question 3, how much am I putting in? How much am I getting? And how guaranteed is it? Now, when I see these 3 questions, I would usually tell the whoever is asking that it all depends on you and the configuration. And sometimes I'm like, I don't want to start talking too much. It doesn't look like I'm preaching. So then I told myself today, why don't you actually just make a video talking about all this one after the other? So let us start from the first question. What do I put into it? How much do I put into this browser automation? And how much am I getting back in return? Now, the first question, it's very important because you could be seeing this browser farming as a way to increase your AdSense revenue. Say you have a YouTube channel and you don't make lots of money from YouTube. So in case you don't know, YouTube pays you more when people click on advertisements. But do you know what people like doing? They like waiting for that skip button to appear. They skip the ad. They don't even watch that advertisement to the last, not to talk of clicking on it. So it takes them to the advertiser's page. But should anybody see an advertisement that they like and they click on that advertisement, then you get paid more. Now, however, YouTube still gets to pay you per impression. So should you have like 1,000 people watch your video, depending on the kind of advertisement they show those people, you could be making like a very few cents. The real money comes in when people click on that advertisement. So now the question, how do you get to invest into this? The first major investment, which is usually the most important one of them, it's on proxies. See, when you have a computer, like for instance, this is my computer over here. I could have so many browsers sandboxed in a SanDisk system. What this simply means that this is my computer, but I could have like 1,000 browsers on this computer. But these 1,000 browsers, whenever they open a website, I don't want them to use my IP address because that would be the biggest flaw. Imagine having so many browsers opening YouTube, interacting with YouTube, and then coming to my website, but they all use one IP address. You see, now that is like a leak. It's a detection leak because the system obviously knows that everybody clicking on these advertisements, all these so many browsers, they all have one thing in common, which is a singular IP address. And if they were routinely doing this, it means they are originating from one machine. Now I could do the hard work, which I've already done, to mask the MAC address, to mask the originating, device address. Like when you install Google Chrome on a particular machine, there's what we call a device address. It's like what Google Chrome uses to know that this browser is associated to this device. So you could have 1,000 browsers, but they're all coming in from one MAC address. Now you could mask that, but what you cannot mask is the IP, which is what IP are these browsers using. Now this is where proxies come in. There are different kind of proxies. I'm going to start with the ones you would need if you're doing this for YouTube. So if you're doing this for YouTube, you would want to get what we call a residential proxy. So what is a residential proxy? If you have watched my videos before, you know what it is. But for the sake of this context, I will explain. Each time you use internet in your home, you usually get what we call a residential, connection. So for instance, I don't know if you can see clearly, but I have my Starlink over here. So I use the Starlink broadband. You could also use in Nigeria MTN or Airtel. These are residential systems, especially if you're using the modem. Now, if you are on your mobile phone, you could be using what we call a mobile, proxy or a mobile connection. So this is like a mobile ISP. So this is basically a connection that is being given to your mobile phone each time you turn your data on. So for YouTube, the best kind of proxies to use are mobile and residential. Now, most people who we call JJC, these are people who don't really know much about it, but they know that there is web automation because there are lots of softwares on the internet. We have Go Login, we have Traffic Bot Pro, there's so many softwares that people use to pick page views, pick traffic. Now, should you use any of the softwares, one of the mistakes you would make is to go buy what we call a static IP. What's the difference? One, static IPs are usually blacklisted, although they're the cheapest and they're unlimited. So because they're very cheap, there is no data, you're not buying 1 gig, 2 gig, it becomes like it's common sense that you should go and buy that one. But the real truth is that majority of people who come to YouTube would usually do so on residential and they will do so on mobile. And the way this network works is if you're using residential or mobile, the IP address they're giving to you, it's not specifically for you alone. It's also used by so many other people who have mobile phones and who have maybe a desktop computer because it's residential. And so because you're sharing that network with real people who use it to perform real activities, it is rarely being blacklisted. However, static IP, which is those cheap ones, they call them static IP, data center IP, dedicated IP. These three I just mentioned right here, they don't have data cap, very cheap. Now, the problem with this one is they're also being used by so many people. But because they're very cheap, there is no data. The people using it sometimes would abuse it. And then it usually has an issue with YouTube system. So YouTube usually flags IPs like this, like data center, static IP. They are usually being flagged by YouTube. So what this simply means is that even if you spend so much money in buying as many as you can, because you're buying quantity over quality, if you generate watch hours, page views, whatever you generate, you will come back to notice one thing. You will come back to notice that the whole entire watch hours you generated, the whole entire earnings, you could see you're making some money from the whole thing you have been able to automate, but then later on you get to see everything deducted. So the best advice I'll give to you, buy residential process. Now there are different tiers. For YouTube, it is not advisable. It is advisable to buy it for a website, but for YouTube it's not advisable because on YouTube, when you buy like 50 gig for $50, before you would have that browser automate using that residential connection to watch random videos before it finally comes to your own video. By the time it comes to your own video, you have already spent a huge chunk of the data. So if you have so many browsers watching random videos, before they will actually even have time to now finally watch your own videos, a huge chunk of the data is already down. So this simply means that even if they click on those advertisements, there is a high chance that you would not even earn as much as you had spent on the proxy alone. So this is why most people who don't have a big fat wallet or a good budget would usually go buy little proxies in very little amounts. They put it up on their automation software and they try to, mine it. Before they know, the proxy is maxed out and they've not even broken even. So this is what I advise you to do. I advise you to go buy this in bulk. Now, there are some platforms I use specifically that gives you unlimited residential proxy. It's expensive. It's around $2,200, but that $2,200 would give you unlimited residential proxy. So what it simply means is that you can keep using that particular proxy on 1000 browser profiles for 1 month, and you can watch all the random videos you want to watch and still come to your own website. And so because the IP is legit and it is residential, you have no problem. So how do you now earn? Now you earn each time you click on an advertisement. So now, depending on what niche you have on YouTube, if your niche is something that involves, you know, this video is over 10 minutes right now. Okay, maybe on the next episode, I wouldn't want these videos to be too, but let's just continue. Now, if your niche is something around, you know, although it's not just the niche alone, it's also the videos your browsers have been watching. Now, but the niche also plays a role. So let's say you have a YouTube channel that talks about real estate. Oh, let's talk about square meters. Let's talk about the different kind of plex. We have the duplex, we have the triplex, you know, the different kind of, you know, plex. Or let's talk about the different kind of, you know, roofing. Let's talk about the foundation, like a real estate video channel where you talk about different things in real estate. Now, if a human being comes to that channel and watches 2, 3, 4 of your video, YouTube will start showing them other recommendations from other people, trying to let them know, oh, check out this other channel that also talks about this in real estate or that in real estate. But now the thing is that real estate interest, which is what your browser has shown, like each time anybody watched any of your content, there's what we call interests. Google tries to check, okay, are you interested in real estate? So they start showing you two things: other videos related to real estate, and they start showing you advertisements related to real estate. So if a real estate company is looking for people who will be interested in real estate, because you've been watching real estate videos, you start seeing it. Now, the budget that is being budgeted for, you know, a particular niche, it's usually depending on the niche. So let's say for real estate companies right now, they're looking for people who want to buy properties, and so they have a higher budget compared to maybe a random niche. So the idea would be to have your browsers go through a specific kind of, you know, content. To watch videos on real estate, videos on travels and tourism, videos on, you know, medicals, videos that would attract or put them in an interest where they get attracted to higher advertisements. Now, when you have that kind of channel, if this is what you do, like your YouTube channel, the niche, what you're into, is also something that is, you know, related to a high, you know, CPC or high, you know, ad attraction niche or industry. What this simply means as well is that the kind of advertisements your browsers would see whenever they're watching your videos are that of high budgeted advertisements. So let me give you an example. Imagine where an advertisement company is bidding to pay as much as 0.80 cents, $1 per click, $2 per click. Yes, companies do it. So companies that are looking for, let's say insurance companies, for instance, they're looking for people who want to sign up for the insurance now. Sometimes they bid as much as $1 per click. So the moment you click on that advertisement, if it shows up on your video, you're getting around 40 cents. So this simply means you have 10 clicks, that's, you know, $4. You have 100 clicks, that's $40. You have 1000 browser profiles, and these 1000 browser profiles clicks on that advertisement or similar advertisement, that's roughly $400, because Google does the 60/40 thing. So let's say somebody has bid that for anybody who clicks on the advertisement, they're ready to pay $1. Google takes 60 cents and gives you 40 cents. Now, if your kind of browsers don't do things that are in high CPC, now they might not be able to see those kind of advertisements that when your browser clicks on them, you earn more. So you see that getting unlimited proxy is just so that you don't get your earnings deducted. So you pass that quality check. Now, what now gives you the money is the amount of browsers you have multiplied by the kind of advertisements they see. So the kind of advertisements they see, it's not something you social engineer. You social engineer it from the niche you do on your YouTube channel, and also from the kind of automation that you have created for the browsers itself. So when you now say, how much do I put into? The first question I ask you is, can you afford to get unlimited residential or mobile ISP? If you can't, can you go buy in bulk? Sorry, in group